I want you to get together.
Hello everyone. So I've got a bit of a random rumination for you guys today. And I do want to give a bit of a disclaimer before I begin. I'm going to be talking about AI and comments from possible AI bots on YouTube and the reasonings behind all of this. But before I begin, I do want to say I tend not to be one of those conspiracy channels that wants to purport ideas that make us seem like paranoid, schizophrenic crazies. Okay, I try to avoid those type of topics. And this is one of those ones which you find there is a large contingent of truthers out there and conspiracy theorists who are hyper paranoid about this particular thing and are adamant that there is a lot of fakery going on, not only on YouTube at large, but also within the truther movement, and there's deep fakes everywhere, and I have seen it being bandied around in the comment section a lot that even I might be all AI. I'm completely fake. There's nothing real about me. I've even heard accusations thrown at other truthers as I observe, the web and the things they post, showing that they too are being accused of being completely fake. There's nothing real about them whatsoever. It's all CGI, and there's a team behind the content that they create because no real person could come up with such things all the time. And it's kind of, there is that hyper paranoid contingent out there who see it that way. And you know what? I get it, because I understand just the level of manipulation, deception that has been put against us. I wouldn't be surprised if that was also going on, but I tend not to be. I don't want to go out there pointing at people saying you're not real. I don't feel that's a good look for anybody. And how are we to truly know anyway, if that's the case, who isn't a fake artificial intelligence bot or something like that, or some kind of scripted shill, who's literally CGI'd. I mean, it sounds crazy, doesn't it? So you have to be careful when talking about these topics, because you have to be aware of yourself sometimes and remember just what this sounds like to everybody else out there. It sounds nuts. So again, like I said, this is not a topic I tend to talk about on my channel, because this also leads into other topics which are hyper paranoid as well. Just about the level of deception to which people are lying to us on social media and on YouTube. So that caveat being said, I can't help, as a content creator who deals with thousands and thousands and thousands of comments, I can't help but notice things are getting pretty weird out there in the comment sections, especially now I've got a little bit bigger and I'm getting more of traction and more of an audience, and therefore more comments. I'm noticing odd behavior from some of the commenters, which makes me question their sincerity, or if they are even real to begin with. Okay, so like I said, I do get comments from people telling me, there's a lot of fakery out there right now in the comment section. People out there purposefully saying stupid things just to utterly derail the conversation and the comment section before it has a chance to really get into the topic at hand, which I'm discussing. And I do see this in live chats as well. There always appears to be an oddly named character who just randomly appears and starts spouting off about random topics and ideas and concepts that have no basis in what I'm talking about whatsoever, and they just start to demand everybody else talks about it, and then start accusing me of ignoring them or something because I'm obviously some hidden, dark, evil shill out there who's purposefully avoiding the subject type of attitude. And it's kind of like, I just haven't got to your comment yet. Relax, But it's then I see this happen, and I sit back and I have to wonder: do people really act like that? It seems it's odd behavior. Like, who has the time and the cognitive capacity to be so pedantic all the time, And then the other odd thing I notice, and I'm seeing this a lot, is the people who tend to do and say these things. And I know this sounds like hyper paranoid, but they have like the number 33 in their name, or they are just a bunch of numbers and letters randomly organized, like a spam account, or they have literally put the number 33 in their name, or 13, or 777, or some odd, weird, occult-looking arrangement of numbers. And it's kind of like, this is so weirdly gaslighty. It's like they're accusing everybody else of being a satanic shill while having satanic symbolism and numbers in their names and logos. And then the logos they have as well are always odd. Always very odd. Eyes and pyramids and troll faces and things like this. And you have to wonder, it's kind of like, is that really a human being now? Because I know humans can have the capacity to troll. I get it. I've been on the internet long enough to understand how that works. And yeah, I think there is a contingent of people just out there for the lols in a classic sense. They're just out there to have a laugh and just to mix things up and stir things up. But sometimes it just seems odd. It's like there's an uncanniness to their trolling that makes me feel like this is not a person. Like, even trolls who are just people at the end of the day don't react the way they react to things. Like, it feels more scripted and mechanical. It's like a robot trying to be a human troll. You can kind of sense that's happening sometimes, and it's odd. And you have to wonder, are they doing that anyway? Because I did release a video not that long ago, a couple of days ago now, which showed that AI algorithms are tailoring your comment sections on social media to specifically rile you up and piss you off and get you defensive or offensive about something in particular. The example I used in that video was a woman who was watching a video of a woman complain about her boyfriend turning up late or not responding to her comments or her messages. And the lady, her comment section was just full of women bashing men. But when her boyfriend looked at the same video, it was men bashing women. And that's kind of, it's designed and tailored to purposefully separate and denigrate and cause friction, And if that's the modus operandi, and we have evidence that is quite literally happening to people's comment sections in a tailored sense, then is it possible as well that a lot of these comments on these tailored sections are purposefully leaving inflammatory opposition comments to further the agenda of separating people and causing discourse and causing chaos, And that would make sense that was happening in something like a conspiracy forum, like my channel and my comment section. Surely there would be people out there looking to derail the conversation and cause discord and friction and arguments rather than some kind of helpful cohesion where we can get closer to learning the truth together. It would make sense that would be happening. And it's probably not, obviously it's not just my channel these things happen in. This is obviously happening in everybody's channel, whether you're even a conspiracy theorist or not, but perhaps more so in the conspiracy realm. I imagine this is happening quite a lot. And that's not to mention the shadow banning and the rest, and the other odd things that seem to happen to content creators when trying to stifle their viewership or their reach. But I do have to wonder, is AI got to that point now where it's not even people anymore? They're not agents in a room somewhere. The feds aren't out there watching you and learning and taking notes anymore and purposely trying to rile you up. Have they literally, like every other company in the world, have they outsourced that out to an algorithm AI instead? They just made the switch, like every other company is doing to save a bit of money. They've just outsourced their trolling to AI. And I can imagine they probably have done that, haven't they? And that switch, I feel like I can see the switch. I used to think the trolls had a little bit more wit about them in the past. They used to be a little bit cockier, a little bit funnier. I used to get a laugh out of it. Now it feels like it's hollow and it's empty and it's scripted and there's no real human interaction, if you get what I mean. Because like I said, I've been dealing with it for like over a decade. I tend to take like inflammatory comments and stuff like that in my stride because it's just comes with the territory and you can have a laugh with it a little bit. It's kind of funny. But yeah, these comments lately are so bizarre. But it's not. I think if maybe it's not like 100% AI, maybe it's like 80-20 or 70-30 or something like that, and like maybe 70% are still humans out there purposely just causing strife. And I have a story. For example, there was a someone left a comment on one of my videos, and what was I talking about? I was talking about how I'm pretty sure my comments on my videos get hidden from me on purpose, because I saw my wife did it. She left a comment and it never appeared, and only after like 3 hours did the comment then appear on the channel. But it was in my, there's like a box where you can approve comments, withheld comments, and it took hours for it to even appear. So I know they're doing it, and they're probably doing it to your comments too. It's completely out of my control. And I think I made a video just explaining these dodgy, weird things I've noticed over the years that seem to happen, with comments. And someone literally posted a comment saying, you sound like the classical DSM-5 description of paranoid schizophrenic. You should look it up, and I'm saying this in love because you might find it fascinating, but if you actually look up the definition of paranoid schizophrenic, it fits your personality perfectly. And I know, I just want you to get help, bro. And it's kind of like, you gaslighty piece of... like, my British politeness made me say nothing. I basically said, no, you're wrong. I'm not a schizophrenic, and I left it at that. Then it's like, well, that's exactly what a paranoid schizophrenic would say. My standard British politeness made me just basically pile the comment off and ignore it and just not rise to it. But what I wanted to say was, piss off, you gaslighty asshole. Like, who the hell do you think you are? Like, I observe something that is obviously happening, and then someone comes along and calls me a paranoid schizophrenic, and then tries to legitimately go down that polite, I'm just being nice to you type of, there, Mr. Stobbs, it's okay, we're here to help, that condescending people in white vests coming to take you away type of voice. And I couldn't help reading that comment and feeling like, oh, this is what it's going to be like when they do try and take me down for being a paranoid schizophrenic or something like that, because I've said too much. It's people like him who believe everything the DSM-5 has to tell them, or the science has to say about people who think and have conspiracy theorist thoughts. It's kind of like they will hook, line, and sinker just go instantly down the mentally ill route, And it's kind of like, that was a human. I don't feel like that was an AI troll saying those things to me. And as you can see, I've kind of got a bit of fun and a laugh out of it and a story to tell. But these latest comments, which I get, I'm not feeling that. There's something off about it. It's like, I don't know what they're saying exactly, and what they're saying just seems so rigid and stupid and odd, just odd, And it's always like something petty as well, like a comment about the sound quality or something, or they've completely ignored my actual point of the video. And it's like keywords were selected from the transcript, and they've made a comment based on these keywords that were said with a false assumption about what my point was. There's something algorithmic about the response, which I can just see the signs. Like when the AI art has the sixth finger. It's kind of like the comments have like their own version of the sixth finger, where it's obvious that that doesn't seem real. It's off. It's wrong. And I can't put my finger on it exactly, but it's there. It really is there. And again, I don't tend to be the type of guy that tries to talk about this type of thing. I don't want to go out there trying to say that people aren't real. I was never a huge fan of the NPC thing, where everyone was saying that some human beings out there are quite literally non-playable characters. They aren't even human. They're just empty vessels with no soul and no inner monologue or anything. They're just programs of the machine of our reality, and they're not real people. I've never tried to go down that route, and I feel like it's not good for us to be so dehumanizing about people sometimes. and then people go ahead and start literally acting like NPCs for money on TikTok. You remember that? People going around on TikTok actually being non-playable characters and getting paid for doing it, you know. And after seeing that, I couldn't help but feel like, wow, you make it really hard to defend you guys sometimes, you know, you normies out there. I'm trying to make people see you as human and not denigrate you, then you go ahead and literally denigrate yourself. It's kind of, why have you got to be like this? But still, that being said, even though they are wildly, you know, overtly NPC-ish sometimes, they're still people. And I like to assume that too about the digital world, but lately it just feels like that's not the case. The AI has gone into the realms of comment sections now, and it's leading thoughts through comments, through false comments. You know, it's bolstering a false sense of popularity behind certain videos by flooding them with fake account comments, you know, supporting certain things and saying this is the thing to believe that is correct, you know. It's culture creation stuff, you know, it's Tavistock Institute stuff, and I can see, you know, that the Tavistock Institute probably got tired of hiring thousands of people out there to literally troll the web and looking for comment and forums and sections to post their you know, their script for the people to follow. It's probably far more efficient to let AI do that. And because we know, you know, that AI, what we have, is probably way more advanced than what we actually see publicly. Like, they're at least 20 years ahead. This could have been going on for a lot longer than I'm anticipating. Or at least, if it has just been released and used against the public recently, it's far more sophisticated than we could ever comprehend, because it is far more advanced than we can comprehend. Maybe that's the case. Or maybe it is what we see it is, and it is a brand new technology, and it's going to get more advanced. Who knows? I mean, there is the whole idea as well that the internet is completely controlled anyway. I think it's called the dead internet theory. And I remember, I think, was it Truth Stream Media? I can't remember what they're called now, but I used to. It's a big channel I watch all the time. I used to watch all the time. I think it's Truth Stream Media. I could be wrong, but they were showing how, you know, when you go to a Google search and you go to the first page, it's all mainstream sources first of all, and then when you think, oh, well, I'll go to the second page, or I'll go to a few more pages, you know, and I'll see what's on there, and you realize it just starts repeating itself and showing the same pages over and over and over again, and it says you've got like 150,000 hits for a certain search, but when you actually start looking at it, it's like actually like 50 or something. They've just been repeating themselves to the point where if you get further and further along, it's gibberish, and it's not actually anything to do with what you've searched for at all that they're actually coming up with. And it's like the internet's actually a lot smaller than you think it is. You know, it's again, it's giving the illusion of vast information and freedom of information, but really it's highly strictly controlled and a part of the narrative, and is a culture creation tool. Again, it's an opinion creation tool. And that's all it ever really will be, and all it ever really was. And I suppose it's down to people like us, like myself and you listening, to share that fact with people and make them more discerning when it does come to reading information online, you know, and listening to people online. And I suppose if we can just discuss these odd tactics like I'm discussing today, that is it possible the people you're talking to and arguing with in the comment sections might quite literally just be a robot who's purposefully there to rile you up and get you angry and pissed off. If we can maybe share that information and that idea with people, maybe we could have less arguments or less things that derail the talking points that are necessary. I don't know. But just a random rumination for you guys today, just something that I've been thinking about, something I've noticed in my own comments and the odd patterns I see emerge. It's like they just come along and say something really passive, like, that thing you said got debunked years ago, and then they just walk away. It's kind of, okay, well, do you want to give me the specific proof that it got debunked? Or are you just saying that so the first person who's never heard the stuff before comes along and goes to the comment section, will see your comment as the latest one, and then move on instantly without actually hearing out the thing first? Is it a derailing tactic? That's why because it's like people don't really, sincere people, usually for me, I've noticed sincere, real people who leave a comment that disagrees, and that's fine. It's fine to disagree. I'm not against that. But people who tend to disagree with points I make offer up alternative answers and the reasoning behind why what I say is false from their perspective. And that's great. That's a conversation. That's discourse. And usually they leave extensive comments because it's not always necessarily for me. It's for other people in the comments to see and to learn from. That's what a lot of it's about. So it's a forum of sorts. But these trolls in the AI comments, they just seem so intentionally and obviously derailing and inflammatory. And there's a lot more of it these days. I'll say that. But what do you guys think? Do you think most of it is AI now? I know some people out there think it's all just AI, it's all fake, nothing's real. But I try to stay more grounded in the idea that no, there's probably still genuine people out there. I don't think it's 100% all faked. And I mean, to what level do you think the fakery is going on exactly? And have you had your own encounters with AI bots in the chat sections of any other videos or any other channels? Let me know and share your stories. Share it with me. Because again, this is just an idea, just a thought. And I probably will do more research into the actual patents and technologies that are around today, which might prove that, yeah, this is actually genuinely happening. I haven't even done that yet. And I guarantee, as soon as I start scratching beneath the surface here, I will find hundreds of evidences proving that they are not only doing this, but have probably been doing it since, like, I don't know, the 90s or something like that. And it's been going on for a long, long, long time. And by that, I mean, I don't know, since the advent of any form of, like, forum, which includes, like, magazines and things like that. I don't know. But either way, they've definitely been controlling the narrative through social media for a long time. And it just seems logical, doesn't it, that AI would take over eventually. So, yeah, I bet you guys out there might even be able to tell me where I can find all the proofs and evidences that this is 100% actually happening too. Let me know, guys. Tell me in the comment section where I can find all this information, and maybe we can share more of it. But I'll leave that there. Just a random thought for you guys. Thanks for listening, and as always, God bless.
I want you to get together.